Well, this last Friday was Friday the 13th. I hope you all had a wonderful Friday the 13th. I saw so many people celebrating the holiday on all my socials. It's really a celebration for horror fans. We love it, right? And just so happens, a brand new fan film called Jason Rising dropped on that day. And we're going to review it. I watched it last night. Can't wait to talk about it. Let's go. Jason Rising stars Kyle Vaughn, Anna Campbell, and is directed by James Sweet. What's up, guys? I know I sound like a broken record. What is the deal with fan films these days? Why are they so much better now than in the past? It just seems like the budget for these movies is bigger because of the fans. And there's a big lesson here that we can make any movie we want to now with celebrities if we want, you know, because the horror celebrities, they're very giving, you know, for the right price. I think horror celebrities are starting to see that the fans are serious about this stuff. And if there's, like, say, a lawsuit going on or something like that, then we can make it ourselves. And it works. And Jason Rising is fucking awesome. And I was surprised by this. I did a trailer reaction for this like 2 years ago. And luckily I didn't remember any of it because I have the worst memory ever. So when I went into this, I went into it very fresh. The only thing I remembered about it was Pamela Voorhees was going to be in here in some way. And let me just say, if you are a fan of the first movie like I am, and if you really love Pamela Voorhees like I do, I even think she's scarier than Jason, you are going to absolutely love this freaking fan film. It's very good. It's just under an hour long, but it's so well done by James Sweet and Womp Stomp Studios. Vincent DeSante has a big part in this, producing wise. He even has like a small part at the end of the movie, which I loved because there was some Axel love there from part 4. But what the hell was I saying? This was great though. I mean, I'm just so shocked. And there's one part of this movie, the ending, that I have to talk about, and I will talk about it after the rating, okay? Because there's no way I'm going to get through this review without not talking about that awesome freaking scene, okay? And also, before I jump in, because you know I'm such a Halloween fan too, wouldn't it be cool, because of the power that we fans have, that we could get somebody like, say, Danielle Harris to do a legit sequel to part 4? You know, do it like kind of H4O style, you know, or I guess it would be H2O because it would be like 20 years later or something like that. But I think Danielle Harris would be game for that. And I need you filmmakers to reach out to her and make that happen if you can. Please, I want this really bad. But anyway, seriously, let's get into this review, okay? First off, let me give you a quick plot synopsis. Now, I think this movie honors 1 through 4 the most. Now, I'm not going to say they don't. Give some little Easter eggs and winks and nods to the rest of the franchise. They most certainly do. But there's a lot of love paid to the first 4 movies, and especially a lot of love paid to the first movie. And Jason, of course, don't get me wrong. Dan Kyle, who played Jason in this movie, was really awesome. He has this like Richard Brooker type, I guess, physique, you know, the kind of a lumbering walk, which is kind of my favorite type of Jason. Ted White had that walk as well. You know, just a lumber. That, for me, Jason needs to be like a lumbering type of guy, you know? Big up top, almost bodybuilder looking, but tall. You know, I think that works best for him. Ted White's my favorite guy. Dan Kyle, I mean, literally has this role, I mean, nailed. Like, really nailed. Like, I was excited just watching his portrayal. Doesn't hurt that James Sweet and company made this movie look completely legit. The cinematography is insane looking. I think half the budget went into fog. Am I right on that, James? Did half the budget of this movie go into fog? So atmospheric. It feels like there's so much depth to the frame. You know, just very professional looking though. Like, all the shots feel like a big budget Hollywood movie, you know? Like, I could put this right next to Platinum Dunes and be just fine. It looks very similar. And I'll even say, not to shit on Platinum Dunes, the remake, like I always do with the characters, but I like these characters better than I do that movie. I don't like those characters at all, so what am I comparing it to? But jumping into the characters of this movie, and I didn't even give you a quick plot synopsis. This involves these escaped convicts you know, we just got to figure out a way to get people to Camp Crystal Lake so Jason can kill them, right? This succeeds, okay? It gets these escaped convicts. One of them is meeting her sister there, and she intercepts Jason. So you have the local sheriff, Daltrey, and his partner, Campbell. They are searching for them. They also have like some help from the FBI. They kind of butt heads a little bit. And Daltrey's father had something to do with the way Jason escaped originally, because he was buried, but he was buried alive. And so then later he's brought back. And I won't go into how he's brought back because I don't want to spoil anything. But I think the story is really well done. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but like I don't think this story could be made by, like, say, a big budget studio movie. I don't think they would go this route in terms of the script. That's where the fans have the power to make any story that they want to. And I think there's fan service that works, and I think there's fan service that's just fan service. I think this is fan service that works. And one of the reasons I don't think a big studio would do this is because of the use of Pamela Voorhees and how they use her in this movie. And it's so satisfying. I've constantly talked about Pamela Voorhees, and I even did like a conversation with Deborah Voorhees where we just talked about the psychology of Pamela Voorhees. I'll even put a card for that so you guys can see it, but it was such a fun discussion.
Revenge for what was done to her son. Of course, nobody she actually killed was actually involved, you know, and that's where the psychotic part came from. But one of the things that I saw over several studies is that typically when a woman kills in a case like this, they have some kind of psychological problem. Right. And I think that does fit with Pamela. With men, they tended to be more like a sociopath, kind of looking for the thrill.
Power thing. Because Pamela Voorhees is a very interesting character. I'm not going to tell you how she's used in this movie, but I will say, boy, you're going to be so satisfied with how she is brought into the fold. You get some kills from her, but you get some kills from Jason, of course. It's just a good mixture of everything that we love so much about Friday the 13th. Everything I think that works the best about the franchise. And I'll say, this is one of the most like rewatchable fan films, you know, and I'm predicting here, but that I've ever seen, just because it packs such a punch in such a short time. It has a lot of great Friday the 13th fat to chew on. And you're gonna get some great freaking kills in here too. I'm just gonna say one that I really, really loved was the freaking machete through the back of the head, out the mouth. That was gold. I was cheering. I'm just that immature. If you give me like a really awesome kill in a horror movie, I can't help it. I get giddy, you know, and I start giggling inside. And that's what happened to me. I was giggling like crazy when that machete went through the back of her head and out of her mouth. Before I talk about that ending, let me give my rating. Definitely a purchase worthy. Like, this was so damn fun, okay? And it flew right by. 50 minutes just flew right by. I can't recommend it enough. Okay, so I got to talk about that last scene. You have been warned. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so at the end, there's this big showdown. They get to the cop station, and you have Vincent DeSante and James Sweet sitting there. Love the little Axel nod on the TV, because Axel's one of my favorite characters out of the whole franchise. I just love the guy. And so you got Vincent DeSante just, you know, sitting there. I guess he's kind of the Axel character of this, but his death is really great too. Vincent, you do a good job of like dying on screen. I don't know, it's like you have a talent for it, okay? But who shows up? Freaking Alice. Adrienne King, the legend, was in this movie. I don't know how you guys managed to get her, but it was so awesome just to see her on screen again in a Friday the 13th movie. And she kicks total ass too. And she literally, you know, steals Pamela Voorhees' head. And she has some funny little one-liners. Like, this movie's filled with a lot of little, I guess, Friday the 13th Easter eggs, innuendos, that you have to be like a true fan to catch the humor. They're like, why are you taking that with you? And she's like, it's personal. Love stuff like that. But, you know, we remember when Vincent DeSante directed Never Hike Alone, and you had Tom Matthews show up. Now we have Alice showing up. It's like they're upping their game with their celebrities that they're throwing in here. And I don't mean that like saying that Adrienne King is better than Tom Matthews. No, I'm just saying that they like went even further back and got like this legend from the first movie, you know, because the first movie is just so legendary. It was a big reason why the slasher craze really took off. And just to have a character from that movie and really get a little bit of redemption too, you know, and she gets to even use like the ice pick on Jason. It's just really great stuff. So James Sweet, Vincent DeSante, Womp Stomp Films, whoever else was involved in this movie, I can't thank you enough. Like, this was just a treat. It was just such a big treat, and I enjoyed it so much. And I urge you guys to definitely check this movie out if you haven't seen it. It's free on YouTube. And 13th Fanboy's coming up pretty soon. I'm really looking forward to that. Deborah Voorhees, that's her production. It's going to be awesome. That's dropping on October 22nd. So that's going to get a theatrical release too, I think. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day and every day. And on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Follow my Drumdums on all my socials. Support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and Drumdum out.